So what a beautiful reading today, this one in which we actually every single evening, the church, when she prays the Liturgy of the Hours, which all of you are able to pray as well. There's lots of apps and things like that. You could easily learn that. But this prayer, the Magnificat, is said every single evening as a way of entering into Mary's prayer. And even Mother Teresa would say this beautiful prayer that she called the five-fingered prayer, where she would say, Mother Mary, pray your Magnificat and Fiat in my heart. She would just count some of those syllables on her fingers. So it's a beautiful prayer to say, Mother Mary, pray your Magnificat and Fiat in my heart. Just think about what that means. The Fiat, the Feast of the Annunciation, is, I desire your will to be done in my life. Let it be done unto me according to your word. The Magnificat that we heard today is after Mary, in her whole being, is saying, I am totally ordered to you, Lord. I'm not ordered to myself. I'm totally saying, I desire your will, not my will, to be done. Then that opens her up to magnify the Lord. You see how the two of those prayers work together. The Fiat is this total receptivity of saying, I want your will in my life. And it's not even just sort of a passive whatever. In the original Greek, it's this very beautiful way of saying, I actively desire your will to be done in my life. So she's like on the edge of her seat saying, I want what you want from me. And because she's able to say that through all of her existence as the Immaculate Conception, then this Fiat is that prayer that comes out of that receptivity of being able to magnify the Lord. She's totally given herself away to God, and because of that, she literally becomes pregnant with God. She's filled with the life of God in such a way that all creation right now, if you just see, the whole earth is just filled with this fertility of the flowers blooming, the grass green, all of the little birds growing, all of this creation is just bubbling over. And we're even seeing with all the rain coming too, it's bubbling over. You can't even cut the grass and then it just appears again. This beautiful fertility. And Mary is like that. She is the queen of the spring. She is the May queen. That's one of the reasons why Mary's month is May, because there's this overabundance that we see in creation, and Mary's the queen of all creation. So all that we see here is somehow reminding us of this superabundant fertility that is just pouring forth from the womb of Mary, because she first was able to say, I am total gift. God made me as a total gift in the Immaculate Conception. And so this total gift, in her saying yes and yes and yes, it opens her up to allow the very life of God to be pregnant within her. And then she just bursts with that joy. The very life of God, she doesn't keep as a prison, but she just is impelled. It says she set out and traveled to the hill country in haste. It's literally like there's some force that's just pushing her to go to her cousin and share this good news. It's ultimately the model of what we should be doing as joy-filled missionary disciples. We need to first start with being open to recognize that everything that we have is from God, and to have that total openness to say, in both the good moments but also in the struggles, I know, Lord, that you are the Lord of my life. I know that you are love and mercy itself, and so I say yes to you in everything. Mary said yes in the easy moments but also in the moments of the cross. And because her whole heart was like that, she was able to be filled with the very life of God and to be able to shine that forth, because she also knew that she couldn't contain it within her. And so she shares that. and she shares the unborn child in her womb. And because of that, Elizabeth is filled with the Holy Spirit. John the Baptist jumps for joy, leaps for joy with this, which is this leaping that David the king did right in front of the Ark of the Covenant. It's the same word. And so he's leaping in the Holy Spirit because Mary, because of her generosity and becoming, very much that queen of all creation, just like creation itself just keeps bubbling forth, she bubbled forth the very life of God within her. And John the Baptist was sanctified in the womb. He was just filled with the joy of encountering Jesus Christ. And it actually just purified him of sin, just like that. Joy kicked out the bad guy. I mean, just think about that. One of the greatest defenses against the enemy is joy. And it's not just joy, sort of just happy emotion joy, but it's this deep, abiding sense that I am forever and infinitely loved by a God who doesn't change that love. He's the anchor for my soul. And when you are so fixed in that love like Mary was from the first moment of her conception, then this joy bubbles forth and it's contagious. It becomes the anchor in the storm. And it became the joy that she would still carry even in the midst of the cross. The sorrowful mother still being able to say, "It is well with my soul, because I am loved and I know my Redeemer." So ask the Lord for this grace today. Ask Mary for her intercession to allow your heart to be like her heart, totally receptive, to say, "I want you to be the Lord of my life, Lord. And no matter what happens, I want to have that conviction, that hope that doesn't disappoint, to be able to say, I'm anchored in your love." And from that anchoring, from those roots that go into the soil of God's love and steadfast care for us, that covenant faithfulness, then all of the springtime can blossom of the Lord's fruitfulness in my life, just as it poured forth from the fruitfulness of Mary's life. So let's say yes and allow Mary to pray her Magnificat and Fiat in our hearts.